I'm going to show you how you can access the Affinity from your Canva dashboard. I'm going to show you can create your first document. We're going to talk about the different tools that are here, and then we're going to just do a little practice. We can jump from different studios. You see here, you see that there's the Vector Studio. You see that there's a Pixel Studio, right? You can literally click on them. Pixel Studio, Layout Studio, Canva AI, and then I'm just going to go back to where it was asking me what do I want to do. I'm going to say I'm going to show you how you can access the Affinity Designer from inside of your Canva account. So we're just going to come right down to here. We're going to move on up to Advanced Tools and come over and click on the Affinity that you see here. Now you can either click to get it, or it will show you sign up to download. I've already signed up, so I'm just going to click to get Affinity. It says it's free. Again, it is telling you that you have to sign up. I'm going to say continue. I'm going to click on this drop down button and I'm going to select the second one. This is the one that works with my computer. You can check what works with your system, but this is the one I'm going to use, and I'm going to select it, and it's going to download to my computer. Now I've done it before, so this is what comes up when we open the Affinity. Good. So here you can, this is the inside of the Affinity Designer. The first thing that you would like to know is how to open a file, and this is where you create a new file. We can click create a new file. I can go to my computer to look for files if I wanted to open a file. So I'm going to close this, but let's just say we want to start with a designer. On this panel, on this side, you'll see all the different sizes of documents, all the different sizes of document that we're able to create, the different sizes, and over here it gives us the option to create a new document based on our specification. Now, to change the different units, because sometimes when I'm designing, I design in centimeters or I design in inches, sometimes in pixels, but today we're just going to be concentrating on using inches, and this is where you can come to select your choice, your unit size. I'm going to let this remain at 300 dpi, and this is, let's say I was making the front of a book cover, and the book cover is going to be a 6x9. Move it to 9. You're able to change. Now here is a little button that accept. We can either lock it or we can have it open. So let me unlock and change it back to 6, meaning when it is locked, it will automatically decide. You put in one size, it will automatically decide the other size. But with it unlocked, you're able to change it to what you want it to do. Now the color format, I'm going to be designing the RBG, right? And you can change that here. Here are the different color formats. The color profile, we're going to make that stay. We're not going to change that. We don't want a transparent background, but we're going to turn on artboard, because I'm going to show you how you can create different artboard to create. Let's say you wanted to work on more than one file at a time. In this design, you're able to work on more than one file at a time. And image placement, I'm not going to change that right now. We're not going to get into that. We're just going to move all the way down to let's preserve text style. Let's just leave this off for now, but we're going to go to margin. You can put on margin. I don't want to put on a margin right now, and I don't want to put on a bleed, so let me just turn that off. But we want artboard on. different designs require different things. And this particular when I'm using book, this book doesn't have any bleed. We're going to assume that this book doesn't have any bleed. All documents have a margin, so let's just turn that on just for safety. Okay, and then we're going to say create a document. Now this is the artboard. I have, the first thing you'll notice is that there's a ruler on. You can press Control R to turn it off, Control R to turn it on, right? And then this is the different studios. So this is the Vector Studio, this is the Pixel Studio, and this is the Layout Studio. Here is where you create books and magazines and publication that you probably want a lot of, you know, designs or different layouts and stuff. This is where you come and do that. There's the AI tool, the Canva AI, and we're going to get into them eventually, but we're going to start with the vector tool, because the vector tool is one of the things. Having the vector tool, having the different artboard, the different studio here that you can work on one file, has made it game changing. So seeing that I've shown you all of this, this section here, this ribbon here, is going to be dependent on what you select. Each time you change these tools, it's going to give you options that relate to the different tools on this side. Okay, so we are going to first talk about the move tool. On this side we have the tools, and on this side we have the I consider them complements for these tools. The move tool, with the move tool you're able to move the artboard, and you're able to move elements onto the artboard. So let's say I choose to create a shape. Let's say I choose to create different shapes. I'm able to use the move tool to move them however I want. Let me just add some color here so that it shows up more, and this is where you go to get your colors, right? On this side, so that is the move tool. We're going to move on down to the artboard tool. Now sometimes you're creating different documents. Let's just say I wanted to create the front of a book cover and the back of a book cover, and they are well, the front of the book will match the back of the book, so I'll just duplicate the size to get another space to work on. So I put the front of the book over here and the back of the book over here. I'm going to, so that you can see the entire screen, I'm going to hold down Control and push back on my mouse rollerball so that we can get to see everything. I could also press H to get the hand to move things how I like it, so I can better see everything. Once you just press H, that's what you get. Alright, so we're going to click back to the move tool and click back to the artboard tool, and this is to show you that you can create different artboard right here. You can create different artboard, so you can either click to get the same size artboard. So if I click that, it's going to open another artboard. If I click that, it's going to open another size artboard, the same size artboard. If I click this, it will open the same size artboard, just as if I click this, it's going to open the same size artboard. Right? So we don't want this. That was just to show you how you can maneuver yourself, and as you get into creating, you're going to today we're just gonna work on one artboard. Oh, also on this other side of the page, you will see that the different artboard. It shows you, and then you see the the thumbnail that shows artboard, and the one that shows uh, what you have here, right? So if I click on this, it's gonna close it, but let's open it back, and then let's get to the other. Let's get to the other tool. The next tool we're going to discuss is the node tool. Now if you hover over it, it tells you the node tool, and it edits existing curves, lines, and shapes. So now we have a shape here on the artboard, and we have the node tool selected, right? If there's a notice there's a little drop down, so there are two tools. There's the node tool and there's a point transform tool, and I'm going to show you what each of them does. The node tool again edits existing curves, lines, or shapes. So with the node tool, I am able to do that, right? I'm able to node tool. I'm able to change the shape. This is so game changing, because usually if you're a Canva user, there are certain things that you can and couldn't do in Canva, but you're able to do them here, right? You're able to do them here. We're going to change the, you see how this is already looking. Look at that. Look at that. All right. Let me bring out another shape. Let me bring out another shape. The ellipse tool. Let's bring out this tool, right? Let's bring out this tool, and we're gonna use the move tool to put it in. Let me just go closer, and all right, hold on. We need to see everything, so wait, let me just resize all of this. You can just resize all of this, drag this out more, and then we're going to get back to the node tool. This tool is really amazing. Now you see how we're able to change the shape. Use the same node tool to change the shape. Wow, right? It's used to maneuver the different shapes. Again, you're able to edit existing curve, lines, and shape. Now that is the node tool. The point transform tool allow you to transform the point. It's like using a anchor. I will click on an area and it will tell. However, I'm pulling it to this side. This is how I'm pulling it, and I'm pulling it this way, and it's like it's choosing. If I choose here, it's going to be moving it from this side. So let's just move to here, and here, and then pull. Let's pull this end. Oh. Okay, so I'm doing that. Point transform tool. If I'm moving that, you see, right? If I press shift, let's press escape. side of here, and then we're going to move this. It's like an anchor tool. It allows you to move the anchor. I don't entirely get this one yet, but I know it does amazing things depending on what you're creating, right? What you're creating and how you want to position in some amazing ways. It's just really, but we'll get into that. Let me just resize this for now. Let's just move this out of the way right now because we've made that shape. Then there is and let's just put it back to the node tool so we can see where we reach. And then this is the corner tool. This is the corner tool. It's round shape corners selectively on closed or geometric shape, right? So what is more geometric than a square? So let's just create a square. And then we are going to select this tool and let's see what it says. It round the corner. It round the corners. See that? Round one corner. Let's get back to it. And we could, let's click it. Let's click here. We could round another corner. So there are a number of things that you're able to do with this corner tool. The corner tool selected, I can click. You see that little curve line at the end? That's indicating, let me just click off of it. You see that? I can click, so I can hold shift. Okay, so first thing I can do, I can click here and change the corner, round the corner, right? And then if I click, go back to, sometimes it clicks off, so you have to make sure that it is on. And then we're gonna click here when we see that little curve at the end, and then press shift and click here and click here. Look at that. No, this one is not selected. So look what's gonna happen. You see that? We're able to do that. And what a shape this is. What a shape it is. Okay. All right. The next thing we're going to look on is the corner tool. So I'm going to delete this. I want to see the difference. I'm going to get a rectangle over here again, and then the corner tool. Now, the corner tool offsets stroke of a curve or a shape. Let me just create another artboard and use the Pentool over here. Let's create back the artboard. I don't want to go back. Let me just get a clean area and let's click on the Pentool and then point and click, point. See, notice any direction where you put the next point from the other one, it is going to send the circle in that way. Send a circle, create more like not a circle but a curve in that way. If you want it to go straight, then you go point. If you want it to go straight, you go click, 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 and close it off. If you don't, when you close it off is when you feel like it. You see that? When you close it off, where is it? When you're closing it off, you see oh, like a little X there, right? Eh? This is where we started from. So now, if you use the move tool, you have a complete shape, and it's closed. Now, what I forgot to mention, when you're creating in vector images, you have what you call a stroke and you have a fill. You have the edges and you have the inside pieces. Now you can choose to have only stroke, so we can click on this and turn it off here, and then we have this stroke only. Now to make the stroke a little bit more pronounced, let's make it thicker, and this is where we go. And then we could have a fill. Let's change the color, and no stroke. We turn it off right here. Alright? So when you look at it now, there is no stroke. The same shape. You could get it access to it from here. You can toggle. Right? From right here. I'm going to click and drag. Press Alt, break the line. Alright, let's break the line. Let's say that's there. Then we're gonna come down to here. What am I making? What am I making? What am I? Look, you see that? What am I making? And then we're gonna go so. Now we're gonna undo, and we're gonna go so. Now we can take the same node tool and fix it up a bit. Fix it up a bit. Fix it up a bit. If you, that's not the shape I'm trying to get to, but who says it have to be perfect immediately? Who says? Right? Who says it has to be perfect? You can play around with it, right? We can move stuff to our liking, right? We can make it look like an apple. We can make it look like an apple. We can draw down the middle a little bit more. We can do that. Looks more like an apple. And then I can click back here. Can I? And press Alt and break. Can I break it at this point again? Am I able to? See that? I can transfer it. I can. You see that? Now it looks like an heart. Who says it has to be perfect? Who says it has to be perfect? And now we are going to decide. We can click here and tell it, because now it doesn't have a fill, but it has a stroke. So we really want it to have the both. So for this, I'm going to choose a red. And then the stroke, for the stroke, I want to be able to see the stroke. So let's make it a little bit thicker. Don't know why we'd want to have that. Alright, so I snip back. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on. Trying to aim for perfection. I don't know. Right? Or we could just take off the stroke. We could take off the stroke. Let's remove the stroke. We're gonna click on this here, and then we're gonna press Alt and drag this up, and then create a little bit of depth. Let's make the bottom one a little bit darker. Let's go closer to dark. Enough, look at that, right? And then we are going to click on this and blur it a lot so that it looks like, give the illusion, look a bit too. It says this is radius. Alright, so we're gonna change that, and we are going to make it a little darker. Okay. And then we want to add a bit of, let's add 3D, and just want to move things up a bit. Okay. Radius. How do you bevel emboss a heart? I don't know. Inner glow. If I go inner glow, let's see. Edge. And then the color, let's choose. And drag, make it touch the line, Alt, break. Then I'm gonna come here and let's take it up a little bit here and drag in the direction of how I want my heart. Yep, this look like halfway. Then I'm gonna press Alt and break in the direction where I want the next point to go. So I'm gonna put it there, and then I'm gonna close it off right here. It's not perfect, so we're just gonna use the node tool, and we are going to move around stuff. Let's move around stuff. It look more like an apple. Let's give it move it. It kind of look okay, right? We're going to drag this. Look at that. It's looking close to an apple. That's an apple, but we wanted a heart. So let's make it into a heart shape. There we go. This looks fine, even though it could take a little bit of, so I could move this down a little bit like so. Look at that. Look at that. And then I'm going to add some colors. Alright, so I'm going to click off of that. This is fine for me. I'm going to add some colors in here. So we are going to go to this here, and I want to make it red. Oh, what are you doing? The shape. I do not want it to have a stroke, so we take off stroke. But for the color, I want it to have, let me give it a gradient. Come again. Come on. Let's put red, and let's use gradient. I think I like that. Let's use changes from, I want the end of the white to be a little dark, a darker red, right? A little darker red, and I want the not so even, come on, not so even, and then I want it to look not linear but radial, probably. Yeah, we're gonna work with that. And then I'm going to come over this side, and I'm add some shadows to this thing. Let's add some shadow. If you double click on it, it gives you all of this option to right, the shadow, the position of the shadow. Okay, so you see, there it is. So if I wanted the position was right here, and let